Happiness hit her like a train to ride. Coming towards her, stuck still, no turning back. She hid around corners and she hid under.
Did I see that? For a minute?
It's now 6:30. The September 18th work study session will begin. We'll start with officials' reports. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. As mentioned last meeting, the much anticipated return of suite arrangements to the city of Southgate occurred on Friday, September 6th. Owners Philip Roush and Chris Roulette created a welcoming new store within the Southgate Myers that features many of the sweet delights from their main location in Wyandotte, along with a few new items for the new location. Joining me in welcoming the new business to Southgate were Council President Zoe Cuspa and Council members Karen George, Priscilla Ayers-Reese, and Ed Golick. We even had the opportunity to meet their new Three Bears Fudge mascot during the event. It's kind of the premiere of that. And Philip and Chris are known to all of us, and we wish you well and success at this new location. On Wednesday, September 11th, the Michigan Crossroads Council of Scouting America hosted a 911 remembrance at Patriots Park in Riverview. This annual service has been held since 2002, but this was the first time it was held in the Downriver area. 39 scout troops and packs were at a part of the event, with scouts coming from Allen Park, Dearborn Heights, Gibraltar, Groseal, Riverview, Southgate, Taylor, Trenton, and Wyandotte. It was a moving ceremony that highlighted the lives of 42 people who were 9/11 victims with Michigan connections. A full-size flag and wreath were placed for each of them as a speaker talked about their lives. Special thanks to the Michigan Scouting America organization for bringing this important remembrance to the Downriver communities, and also to all the young scouts who are keeping this tribute relevant and ongoing, knowing that the tragic events of 9/11 occurred well before they were even born. On Friday, September 13th, KS Management on Northline added a new service to their growing list of businesses. Primarily known for their property and condo management, community maintenance, and landscaping services, KS has now expanded to offering mortgages. Owner Jeremy Reyna indicated that entering the mortgage business was a natural extension of the services they provide. Their goal is to be a one-stop solution for all home and community needs. KS currently has 3 service locations, with Southgate serving as the main office. Mr. Reyna is very pleased to be here in Southgate and expressed that business is so good that an expansion of the Southgate location is currently certainly a possibility in the near future. Helping me to welcome this new business to Southgate were Council President Zoe Cuspa, City Clerk Jan Ferenz, and Council members Karen George and Ed Golick. On the evening of Thursday, October 17th, the City of Southgate will be hosting a Salute to Service event in the newly updated foyer of our municipal building. The purpose of the gathering will be to thank all of our community volunteers who serve on our numerous boards and city commissions. There will be music, light refreshments, and a brief presentation. Please mark the date, and I will be providing more information on this event as it draws near. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. Madam Clerk.
Thank you. We are preparing the absentee ballots for the November 5th election, and the ballots will be mailed out Thursday, September 26th. Also, a reminder about the 9 days of early voting. Early voting is just like voting on Election Day and will help alleviate the long lines on Election Day. And all the precincts can early vote at Parkside Gardens starting October 26th through November 3rd from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. This is 9 days of continuous voting from 8 to 4. It includes 2 full weekends and 5 weekdays. So I'm going to strongly suggest that if you want to avoid the possibility of a long line on Election Day, you either vote absentee ballot or early voting. So if you have any questions, give us a call.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Councilman Erich.
No report.
Councilman Roush.
I will, first of all, thank you, Mayor, for the kind words. Believe it or not, if you have not stopped by our new store, please stop by. And in November, we will actually be celebrating 20 years in business, where we originally started here in Southgate. So stop by our store, because we're going to have lots of specials and stuff like that. So.
Councilman
report.
Graziani. School board did meet. They did mostly some housekeeping things. They bought a dump truck that they needed, and also they renewed the student resource officer contract as well. On the public safety side of things, I talked with the director, and they're continuing their safety training, getting that in the works for this new school year between the schools and the police department. And there's been great collaboration between the superintendent and the department, so things are moving really well in that area. That's all I had. Councilwoman George.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Kates Commission met last night, and they are in the process of decorating gazebo for fall. They are again hosting the Halloween and Christmas home decorating contests. More information on that later. Concerning the Library Commission met last week, and a new online service has been added for a one-year trial. It offers many tutorials on a range of subjects. It is online and works just like Canopy and Hoopla. The summer reading program was a big success. 297 adults signed up, 334 kids and teens logged in more than 2,000 hours of reading. The library is removing music CDs from the list of accepted donations. The Commission on Aging meeting met last week and discussed the Halloween party, which is Thursday, October 17th, from 10 to 2 p.m. at the Senior Center, the same day as the celebration here. So it's a busy day. It'll be a good day. This is a kind of a public service announcement. We're dealing with a drug problem, and many times Narcan has been used to save a life. If anyone is interested in the use of Narcan, Wayne County Community College, the Downriver campus, is offering a free opioid overdose training, the use of Narcan. And this is Tuesday, September 24th, from 1 to 6 p.m., and you will receive a free Narcan kit at the end of the training. And that's all, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Councilman Ayers Reese.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Planning Committee did meet on Monday, September 9th. Southgate Anderson, in coordination with Southgate Community Schools, is planning to utilize the property owned by Southgate Community Schools on Ford Line to build 8-unit condos, which are really condos in name only. They're single-family homes. Headed up by funding would include a grant from the state and the school special project funds. Currently, it's zoned as a R1B, one-family residential with a minimum lot size of 7,200. The proposed size of the homes would be 1,539 square feet that will have basements and attached garage. This would be a great opportunity for the students at Southgate Anderson in the 11th and 12th grade to get some life skills, building homes, possibly make some big money. So they'll be actually learning how to build the homes in the 11th grade, and then they'll actually be on site doing the homes. So the proposed homes I think it's one per year that they're looking to complete. So it would be like a total of 3 years before you actually see it home, because you have the 11th graders in your 12th and then the 12th. And that's all.
I had built one.
Councilman Gollett.
Thank you. The Parks and Recreation Commission did meet last Wednesday, September 11th. It's been a constant endeavor to keep our staffing at the current levels. Julie's been able to hire 2 part-timers who are both going to help out at the ice arena mainly. And she also hired a recreations facility coordinator. If you remember, we added that position at our last budget meeting, and that's really going to help. Nick Torrance is the gentleman's name. He comes from the city of Trenton, which has multiple ice arenas, and so he's used to that concept. But he also has marketing skills, and he's really strong at the hockey league. So he's going to be running the majority of the ice facilities next door. The Senior Olympics were a huge success. We got almost 400 participants, and we got a lot of good comments about our facilities, about our DPS help and our Parks and Rec help getting it all set up. So thanks to Julie for coordinating that and her help as well. The recreation programs, the golf course sales were down a little bit in August, and we think it had something to do with the weather. But it was only down like 4% over last year, so not a big decrease. Fall adult softball and fall Little League has started, and Julie's working on scheduling the winter basketball at the YMCA. She also noted that Cobb Park is already being used quite a bit since the renovations have been made. So a wise investment by the city to give the kids a place to play basketball. The recreation millage, a few of the highlights that she had was Cobb Park. The restoration work is being watered, and we need that water for sure at this time of year. And the grass is starting to grow. Handicap signs have been installed. At McCann Park, the tot lot will be installed early October. At Waverly Park, again, the restoration work is being watered, grass is starting to grow, and the playscape will be installed in October as well. Police Auxiliary Park, which we talked about at our last meeting, the bid was awarded, and the equipment is on order for the spring to be installed. And then lastly, the splash pad. And just a comment for some of the residents, a lot of them don't realize it's only open from Memorial Day to Labor Day. And so with it being a limited use facility, we want to try to keep it open all those days. People on social media were commenting, why is it closed already? Because the weather is so nice. Well, that's the schedule that we have to adhere to. And in fact, there's signage being installed at the park and other maintenance going on right now. Two other items. Some of our council members have been assigned to different committees starting this week. I will not be on the Parks and Rec Commission anymore, but Victoria will take over for me, and I'm sure she'll do a great job.
I'm excited. Thank you.
And then lastly, at our last meeting, we also talked about the Hall of Fame. This year, we had 2 applicants for the Southgate Parks and Rec Hall of Fame. And pleased to announce that Councilwoman Karen George was elected unanimously to the Hall of Fame. We'll have a ceremony with the details to be announced. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Marsh, please, for the agenda.
Good evening. Thank you, Madam Chair. Under consideration of bids, we have one item, and that's for the Southgate Tower Park and Bridge Project Pavilion. The administration is recommending J.G. Morris Jr. Inc. for the build-out of the pavilion structure. This structure is funded by the Wayne County ARPA grant associated with the project. The pavilion itself is a custom 30 by 60 foot structure that will complement the overall Southgate Tower project. Are there any questions from council? Okay, seeing none. We have one scheduled hearing, and that is the continuation of the public hearing for the demolition of 19364 Eureka Road, the site of the former Alibi Bar. This meeting was adjourned on August 21st, and a motion was made to reconvene the public hearing tonight. Are there any questions from council? Okay, seeing none. Under Communications A, the first item is a recommendation to waive the fee for the Anderson High School's homecoming parade. The city and the school district have a good working relationship, and the administration is recommending that fee be waived. Are there any questions from council?
Through the chair.
Councilman
Mr.
Ball.
Marsh, I noticed construction started today on the replacement of concrete on Leroy. Will that be finished in time for the parade?
Homecoming is-
I'd have to check into it, but I believe so.
Okay. I mean, we have till October 4th, but I'm not sure how long the cement needs to cure.
Oh, yeah. We'll be fine.
Okay, thank you.
The next item is a request to waive the bid process and extend the contract with GV Cement for the 2024-2025 road reconstruction program. This year's program involves the reconstruction of Dondero, Jessica, and Timothy Streets. JV won the low bid for last year's reconstruction of the Humphrey cul-de-sac and a section of Burns. They've offered to hold their pricing for this year's project, and therefore their administration is recommending that that bid be waived and the contract be extended. Are there any questions from council? Okay. Seeing none, the next item is the administration's recommendation that the property at 19364 Eureka Road, the former Alibi Bar, be demolished or repaired within 90 days. If the property owner does not demolish within 90 days, the city will hire a contractor and the property owner would be charged for that expense. Are there any questions from council on that item? Okay, hearing none. Next is a request to approve contract amendments for the public safety director and the police chief. Council will have the opportunity to discuss those changes in detail during tonight's executive session. Joining that executive session is our labor attorney, Brandon Fournier. Any questions from council on that item? Okay. Next is a recommendation to approve DUA's second amended Articles of Incorporation. For those not familiar, DUA is the Downriver Utility Wastewater Authority. It's made up of 13 member communities, and each one of those communities have a seat on the DUA board. A summary sheet of the changes has been provided in your packets. That sheet was provided by DUA's legal counsel. Are there any questions regarding DUA or those recommended changes?
Through the chair.
Councilman Gulick?
Mr. Marsh, do we need to read the resolution at a formal meeting so it's in the minutes, or are we just going to refer to this as the resolution?
You can approve the resolution, and then that resolution will be included in the minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the final item under Communications A is regarding change order number 1 for Cobb and Waverly Park basketball court improvements with Roller Corp. Roller Corp won the bid for the basketball courts at Waverly and Cobb Parks, and they've agreed to hold their pricing for the installation of tennis and pickleball courts at Southgate Tower. This purchase is also covered under that $5 million grant that was awarded to Southgate by Wayne County for the park and the bridge project. Are there any questions from council? Okay. The last item on tonight's agenda is under ordinances, and that's the second reading of an update to Chapter 666.04 of the City Code. This section deals specifically with trespassing and vagrancy, and the administration is recommending the updated language, which will specifically clarify 666.04 Section B, and will include anti-camping language. Are there any
Madam
questions from
Chair?
council?
Councilman
I
George?
would just like to have this one read during the second reading so that the public is aware of what's happening with this ordinance.
Okay,
That's all. Thank you.
thank you. With that being the last item, we'll reconvene at 7. Are you good with that? Begin, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Erridge,
Present.
Councilman Gollak,
Here.
Councilman Ayers Reese.
Present.
Councilman Roush.
Here.
Councilman George.
Here,
Councilman Graziani.
Present.
Councilman Cuspa.
Here. Before we start the meeting tonight, I just want to have a brief moment of silence for past City Council member Bill Clovis's son, Stephen. So if we could please just have a moment of silence for Stephen Clovis. Thank you very much. And a motion to approve the work study meeting minutes dated September 4th, 2024.
Madam Chair,
Councilman Ayers Reese.
I make a motion that we approve the work study meeting minutes dated September 4th, 2024.
Support.
Motion by Ayers Reese, supported by Gollak. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Next, I need a motion to approve the regular city council meeting minutes dated September 4th, 2024.
Madam
Council
Chairman.
Chair,
Councilman Graziani.
move the Southgate City Council approve its regular city council meeting minutes dated September 4th, 2024.
support.
Motion by Graziani, supported by Roush. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Now I need a motion to move into executive session to discuss the Director of Public Safety and Police Chief contract amendments.
Madam Chairman,
Councilman Roush.
I make a motion, we go into executive session to discuss the Director of Public Safety and Police Chief contract amendment.
Support.
Motion by Roush, supported by George. Roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Erridge.
Present.
Councilman Gollak.
Yes.
Councilman Ayers Reese.
Yes.
Councilman Roush.
Yes.
Councilman George.
Yes,
Councilman Graziani.
Yeah.
Councilman Cuspa.
Yes. Okay, we will now move into executive session and come back when we do.
Madam Chair,
Oh.
we just want to confirm that new council member voted yes instead of present.
Yes.
Yes.
I got too formal.
Well, good luck, guys. You don't come out alive.
You're allowed one
I'm learning.
We need,
You don't need this call.
we need Krispy Kremes.
You need donuts? I've got them.
Yeah, out here and entertain the people.
You gotta run. I gotta go.
You go. We'll talk about important stuff. Yeah. More than any of this. We're not that important. No.
You didn't have to agree.
I was laughing at me again. I thought you felt.
Chris, you go ahead and take it.
Okay. Tell some jokes.
If they're good, make sure you write them down.
Well, I always laugh at them. Back soon. Like with them last year. So they just said, they could remove. Function. Prior to. So they try to make the election, and sometimes it's worked, sometimes it wasn't, you know. Actually, these are missed, so they. Last time we went to the doctor. So he had an appointment. I want to think, I don't know what's happening. I said, maybe it's this morning, but he was going to work and everything, so it wasn't like that serious. He was going to work, and then he had a doctor's appointment after work. The guy today, I think, because Phil said he saw his mom yesterday, so I think that's what he.
Wow. Did the,
Like, you know, especially.
did the affections grab him?
Maybe, you know, and so they're having an autopsy done, obviously. and it's-
Sure.
it's the mayor, but it sounds like, yeah, it was way more serious than the hospital allowed it to be, or it got more serious. Because, well, you just go see the doctor when you know.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Like that. That's insane.
Yeah. What I was telling him, his nephew passed away 3 weeks ago. How old was he? He was 28.
Jesus, I hate hearing.
Yeah, and it was.
What did he pass away of?
I don't know. My brother had an autopsy done. didn't address it because he was taking his insulin and doing everything he was supposed to. But he was, I think he was overeating. And to the point that when they finally had to go into his apartment because they had nobody could get a hold of him, the refrigerator door was open and he was sitting in no plug in, just the water was running out. And you're thinking that he was trying to cool himself down, not realizing probably should have gone to the hospital. Because he hadn't had diabetes, he just had it like in the last year or so.
Really?
So I think, maybe, you get something, you're like, I don't know.
Was he heavy or was it just?
No, I know, he's skinny, and he lost more weight.
Yeah.
Who I saw last time when she's.
It's interesting. Some of the people you see have
He
diabetes.
was very, slim and trim.
Yeah.
And like his two brothers they're not even heavy, they're just heavier than him.
Sure.
And I'm thinking, and then when I saw him last time, he looked really skinny. Like he lost even more weight because he was probably cutting out whatever sugars and stuff. But yeah, so that's what they think it was, that
Oh,
overeating and.
I'm glad you're here. I gotta talk to Chief revealed his investigation. I don't think you'd be able to stop.
Wow.
We'll be able to stop it. Yeah, but let's have a meeting with them. Is there not a massage problem? They already, I guess they. sort of
Yeah.
Westland.
And so it was like, she lost his right.
Yeah, but if they don't touch anybody, if you're just.
Oh, how that's
And that's always the issue.
Yeah, but
oh yeah.
he said there wasn't enough to prosecute.
Boy, oh boy.
I mean, we should have charged him. That
Was he married?
I'm not opposed to
your
doing
nephew?
it, but,
No.
Okay. How about
tell me what you want.
The last time I saw him, and I haven't seen him in a while,
No, it's not.
it was probably when we were.
My daughter's
They were like all going out to dinner.
sure?
not touching.
Yeah.
Yeah, he still lived, it's pressure.
He said it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
touching at all. and My daughter said it's not touching. Well, you and I will meet and talk. Because Amelia and I went over the stuff and she agreed that if they don't touch, the thing is if they touch, then you gotta call the state and say they're a massage parlor.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so I don't know why you don't take it as seriously as I take it, but it's
Yeah.
not like it's the first time, he, and see, the last,
Well,
not the last.
I'll get Amelia's upgrade before I tell you, okay? Because I don't wanna be the guy who gives you all the bad
And
news.
you know what? I have,
We don't care.
it's just that when they want to stay the night and see them around, just have DBA, and that's the name of the business. What's gonna
Right.
So, so you can have a different data that you put in your follow-up.
Right.
So I put in.
Oh,
I
geez.
mean, I lost my job, but we didn't have insurance for a while. you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I said, now we got it, now you need to go.
Right.
Follow up. Follow up.
How can that be legal? How can that be right? How can I,
You
because it- to me, that's.
You don't know.
He said it's gonna
I don't know,
be.
I just, maybe it's something really serious.
That wouldn't be our claim because the state licenses massage parlors.
We have to put them in the district. Based on
Doesn't mean it's gonna go away or it's gonna.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, do you do it by the name or do you do it by the individual?
When you're driving.
what they show.
My son had a seizure, and just out of the blue, and I took him to the Mind Institute, and they were wondering if it was caused by,
Where do these guys
They could
fall in?
never
What do you
determine.
think they are?
When did he have it?
he was 16, so 3 years ago.
See, the chief does one when I was.
Doesn't think that's what they are.
No, he doesn't think that's what they are. He said that he went, he checked with the attorney general, they had a private,
So they couldn't determine what mine.
you know what? It's
Sure.
Graziani called. You know, John is Christian's kid.
14, right?
Hey, John, I'm gonna counsel you. What's happening?
And they had put me on this medication, and my mom was like, oh, you're not doing it.
Thank you, sir.
And literally, I did a blood glucose,
Hey, guys,
my sugar, whatever, everything was fine.
we were being recorded. Haven't killed the mice. They could hear us out there, yeah.
Okay, I need a motion to close the executive session to discuss the Director of Public Safety and Police Chief contract amendments.
Madam Chairman,
Councilman Roush.
I make a motion, we close the executive session.
Support.
Motion by Roush, supported by Ayers Reese. Roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Erich?
Yes.
Okay, Councilman Golick?
Yes.
Councilman Reese?
Yes.
Ayers Reese, I'm sorry. I got a little confused. I apologize. Councilman Roush?
Yes.
Did I get that right? Councilman George?
Yes.
Councilman Graziani?
Yes.
Councilman Cuspa?
Yes. Now closed. There are no scheduled persons in the audience. There's one item under consideration of bids, a letter from the mayor regarding the Southgate Tower Park and Bridge Park Pavilion. Madam Clerk.
Bids for the Park Pavilion were received and reviewed by the administration. It is recommended by the city engineer, and I concur to award the bid to J.G. Morris Jr. Incorporated of Groseal in the amount of $638,000. Funding for this agreement will be provided by the Wayne County ARPA Funds Grant. Your favorable consideration of this matter is greatly appreciated.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman George.
I move that we award the bid for the Southgate Tower Park and Pedestrian Bridge Project / Park Pavilion to J.G. Morris Jr., Inc. in the amount of $6,338 with funds to be provided from the Wayne County ARPA grant.
Support. Motion by George, supported by Ayers Reese. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Next is the scheduled hearing. There's one continuation of public hearing for the demolition of 19364 Eureka. I would need a motion to reconvene after the adjourned public hearing on August 21st.
Madam Chairman,
Councilman Roush.
I make a motion, we reconvene the public hearing for the demolition of 19364 Eureka.
Support.
Motion by Roush, supported by Golick. Any discussion? Any objection? Okay, it's now open. If there's any further comments from administration or any questions from council? Mr. Zelnick, did you have any?
We have no further update. The Director Leach is here, and he might know if there's been any further dialogue with the property owners or the purported owners as to taking care of the demolition. If he shakes his head no, then we're going to ask you to adopt the order. If he shakes his head yes, we're going to ask you to adopt the order regardless of which way he shakes his head. All right, he shook yes.
Any other further questions or comments from council? Any further questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, I will ask for a motion to close the public hearing for the demolition of 19364 Eureka.
Madam Chairman,
Councilman Roush.
I make a motion, we close the public hearing.
Support.
Motion by Roush, supported by George. Any discussion or objection? Motion carries. First item of communications A is a memo from the Public Safety Director regarding the homecoming parade fee waiver. Madam Clerk.
The police department has received a parade permit request from the Southgate Anderson High School Student Council. They are requesting to hold an annual homecoming parade on October 4th, 2024, starting at 4:30 and ending at 6 p.m. We have reviewed their request and see no issues with allowing this parade. City Ordinance 466.03 requires a completed permit application to be submitted. This ordinance also requires a $100 permit fee. The fee, however, can be waived with a council resolution when the applicant is a nonprofit, religious, fraternal, civil, veteran, or charitable organization located in the city and renders services to the residents of the city. The police department will grant the permit for the parade. We also seek for this matter to be presented to city council to waive the required $100 fee for homecoming parade.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman George.
I move that we waive the $100 fee for the homecoming parade on October 4th, 2024.
Support.
Motion by George, supported by Erich. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Next is a letter from the mayor regarding the contract extension for 2425 road reconstruction program. Madam Clerk.
I have reviewed the above with the city engineer, and I concur with his recommendation to waive the bid process and award the contract extension for the 2024-25 road construction program to GV Cement Contracting Company of Brownstown Township, Michigan. GV has agreed to hold their unit prices that were approved under the 2023-24 Humphrey Court and Burns Avenue Road Reconstruction Contract on August 2nd, 2023. Funds are budgeted in the street fund for this contract extension. Your favorable consideration of this matter is greatly appreciated.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chair,
Councilman Erich?
I move that we waive the bid process and approve a contract extension with GV Cement Contracting Company for the 2024-25 road reconstruction program at the unit prices under the 2023-24 Humphrey Court and Burns Avenue Road Reconstruction Project approved on August 2nd, 2023.
Support.
Motion by Erich, supported by Roush. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Next is the memo from the administrator regarding the demolition of 19364 Eureka. Madam Clerk.
On July 17th, 2024, the Dangerous Buildings Board met to discuss 19364 Eureka. This property sustained fire damage and has been classified as a dangerous building. The Dangerous Buildings Board recommended that the property be demolished. The administration recommends the City Council affirm the recommendations of the Dangerous Buildings Board to have the property demolished. Charges for demolition will be billed to the property owner, and if not paid, the charges will be placed as a lien on the property.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chairman,
Councilwoman Ayers Reese.
I propose a motion to affirm the recommendation of the Dangerous Buildings Board that the property located at 19364 Eureka Road must be repaired or demolished within 90 days.
Support.
Motion by Ayers Reese, supported by George. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Next is a memo from the administrator regarding Director of Public Safety and Police Chief contract amendments. Madam Clerk.
City Council has been presented with proposed contract amendments for the Public Safety Director and the Chief of Police. The administration believes it is in the best interest of the city to approve the contract amendments. Therefore, the administration respectfully requests that the City Council authorize the mayor to sign on behalf of the city.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chair,
Councilman Gollak.
I'll make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign the proposed contract amendments for the Director of Public and the Chief of Police, Public Safety.
Support.
Motion by Gollak, supported by George. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Next is a memo from the administrator regarding second amended articles of incorporation. Madam Clerk.
The city of Southgate is one of 13 member communities of the Downriver Utility Waste Water Authority. The DUA Board seeks approval of the attached 2AO, is that a L or a 1?
It's an I.
Oh, an I. Okay. It's a lowercase. I thought it was a lowercase L. Okay, I'm sorry. The DUA Board seeks approval of the attached 2AOI from each of the member communities. Approval of each community's governing body is required to change the articles of incorporation. Attached in your packet is a summary document provided by DUA Legal Counsel. The red line version of the proposed changes and a clean copy of the proposed changes and a formal resolution.
What's the pleasure of
The,
oh, sorry.
oh, you want me to, okay.
Pause. No.
The other DUA communities this resolution is being presented to are Allen Park, Belleville, Brownstown Township, Dearborn Heights, Ecorse, Lincoln Park, River Rouge, Riverview, Romulus, Taylor, Van Buren Township, and Wyandotte.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman Erich.
I move that we approve the attached resolution for the approval of the second amended articles of incorporation for the Downriver Utility Wastewater Authority.
Support.
Motion by Erich, supported by Ayers Reese.
Madam Chair,
Councilman George.
do we know if any of the other communities have already agreed to this?
We have a meeting tomorrow. I'll get an update, but at this point, this was just out this week, so I think we're one of the first to get it because of our scheduling of our meeting.
Okay, thank you.
And Madam Chair, just to know, I know that there was kind of a confusion there. The 2AOI is just the
incorporation.
second, it's an abbreviation for the second amendment to the Articles of Incorporation, Articles.
I couldn't tell if I didn't know how to read it.
Okay, no, that's fine.
It looked
That's
like a
it. It was just
lowercase
an
L.
abbreviation.
Okay.
Okay,
Any
good.
further discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Last is a letter from the mayor regarding change order number 1, Cobb Park and Waverly Park basketball court improvements. Madam.
I have reviewed the above and concur with the city engineer's recommendation to approve change order number 1 in the amount of $409,000 to Roller Corporation for the tennis and pickleball courts in the proposed Southgate Tower Park development project. This change order is for an addition to the scope of work as outlined in the contract that was approved at the March 20th, 2024 City Council meeting. Funds for this change order are available in the Wayne County ARPA funds. Your favorable consideration of this matter is requested.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chairman,
Councilman Roush.
I make a motion, we approve the change order number 1 to Cobb Park and Waverly Park basketball courts improvement contract with Roller Construction Corporation in the amount of $409,000 for the Southgate Tower project, tennis court project utilizing funds from the Wayne County ARPA grant.
Support.
Motion by Roush, supported by Golick. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. And I'm super excited because this was always talked about in the beginning about pickleball and tennis courts. And as a tennis player and a pickleball player, I am super excited to see this come to fruition. So thank you, council. No items under communications B. One ordinance regarding the changes to city code, chapter 666.04, the second reading. Councilwoman Ayers Reese.
The administration is recommending the following changes to chapter 666.04, trespass vagrancy. B, no person shall unlawfully lodge or unlawfully be found at any time in sheds, barns, stables, unoccupied buildings, and like structures or public places. No person shall camp, use camping facilities, including but not limited to tents, huts, or temporary shelters, or use camp paraphernalia, including but not limited to cots, beds, sleeping bags, hammocks, or tarps in any public street, parks, sidewalk, alleyway, public easement, public lot, or public area. Adoption of this new language will strengthen the city's ability to prevent individuals from living in public places and will help law enforcement connect unhoused individuals with shelter resources. I'm proposing a motion to adopt the proposed language changes to section 666.04, trespass vagrancy.
Support.
Motion by Ayers Reese, supported by Golick. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Is there any old business the council would like to discuss? Seeing none, is there any new business the council would like to discuss?
Madam Chairman,
Councilman Roush.
this actually could probably fill under each one. Is there any way we can get, I know that the city had posted something about the YMCA and that the comments were really blowing up on there. Is there an update we can get on that?
Yeah, through the chair, a little bit of background on that grant proposal. I saw those comments as well as a lot of kind of inaccurate statements going on there. So I appreciate the opportunity. I'll kind of give the council an update on that. The Southgate Splash Park that was closed shortly after COVID, it's an eyesore. I think anyone that goes by it or who used to enjoy it is sad that it's not open anymore. That splash park is maintained by the YMCA, and so they are not able to do the renovations or to take on the operating loss that running it would include. Outdoor pools in Michigan, they cost a lot of money and they operate at a loss. After COVID, the YMCA was not able to continue withstanding that loss and do the maintenance on it. So the process has now been, okay, well, we don't want to have an eyesore there. We don't want to have just an empty pool. So we've been trying to be creative and figure out what are some solutions that can happen at that space. One of the solutions that was discussed was creating an athletic space, an indoor athletic space there that could be used 12 months out of the year instead of just 3 months. So there's been a number of requests that have been put out through congressional directed spending, through grants through the Labor and Economic, through Michigan's Labor and Economic Opportunity Department. So far, there hasn't been any money allocated for that. There's been another grant opportunity that recently came out through the EPA. This is the Community Change Grant application. The YMCA is actually the one who's applying for that grant. And what that would do is it would take money that was already allocated to the EPA and bring it to the city of Southgate to have that brought back to a functional use. The plan is to build a structure there that would have athletic surfaces that could be used throughout the year, to build green space around it. Right now it's a lot of parking, but to put a green space around it, which would reduce the amount of hard surface in that area, which would lighten the burden on the sewer system. It would also make that space into a community resiliency hub. This is where it would be a space that could be used for if there's heat emergencies, if there's cold emergencies, a power outage in the wintertime, if there's a massive apartment fire and there needs to be somewhere where people can go. This space would be designed to bring people in those events. It wouldn't be a homeless shelter or anything. It'd be used for an emergency shelter when there's events like that. The benefit of having it there is that this would be operated by the YMCA. So there wouldn't be any local tax dollars at all going to this project. So there would be, it would come with its own steward, it'd come with its own operator, which is a great benefit to our residents there. Some of the comments I saw talked about this space you have to be a member to use it. Well, that's not an accurate statement. Anything that's been proposed there would have access to those who are not YMCA members or don't do programs with the YMCA. So this would be a true community space. They would be responsible for operating it, but unlike a splash park that, loses over $100,000 every single year, this would not have those type of operational expenses. The benefit though is any programming that would be ran out of there for those athletic spaces, having the YMCA as a partner is a benefit. There's a benefit there as well because unlike other for-profit entities, the YMCA makes sure that no one's ever turned away for financial hardships. They have scholarship programs. Just last year, for example, they gave out over $50,000 in our local community to make sure that people could afford their programs, do whatever they had going on there, that they gave that as local assistance to local families. Having them as the operator of this facility would be a benefit because then it's just making sure there's better access to it. Beyond just the free public access, any programming that would take place there would be, there's the opportunity for program financial aid. And then just the last thing I would say about it is it's not a done deal. This is a grant application process. The reason we put it out there is because to strengthen the application, we wanted to take public comment. And so that's what we're doing right now. For as many kind of cranky posts that were put out there, we haven't actually received any comments yet, actual public comment. So I would encourage people, and part of that public comment is if the federal government is going to spend money in Southgate, which was what we're hoping to have happen, what would they like to see happen there? As much as people would say, well, have the federal government, have the EPA put in a splash park, that's not, it won't meet the grant requirements. And there's not a lot of federal grants out there to build splash parks. The grant that's being proposed, it meets the standards to create a community resiliency hub. Again, where there's no staff operational cost to run it, it's just a pretty great win-win, I think, and it would bring that back to a productive use. So I hope people do their comments. I have fond memories of that splash park myself for a number of reasons, and so as much as I would love to see a pool there, it's not a feasible solution right now. So and we don't want to see that stay empty either, and we want to see it be used and enjoyed by the public again.
And I think it's important to note too, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but the management of that splash pad or splash park and the decision to close it was the decision of the YMCA. There's a lot of misconception that the city is the one that closed it. It was the YMCA's.
Yeah, that's 100% correct. So
Right.
when that facility was built, the YMCA was selected by the TIFA board as the operator of that facility. So they have all the operational responsibility for it. So they make those operational decisions for running that facility.
Yeah, because that's been always, oh, the city closed it. It was the discretion of the Y. So thank you, Ms. Marsh. Any other new business the council would like to discuss? Seeing none, we move on to unscheduled persons in the audience. If you'd like to address council, please come to the podium, state your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes to address council.
Good evening. Good evening. How's everyone doing today? Good evening. How's everyone doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Well, my name is Martel Bibbings, and I am running to represent the 13th Congressional District in the U.S. House of Representatives. So it's really apropos that you were asking the residents what they would like to see from the federal government. I, too, want to know. My background, I'm an economic developer, a former banker at First Independence Bank. For 4 years, I was at the Detroit Economic Growth Corporation, where I was able to help open over 50 new businesses, solve over 3,000 business issues, bringing back the first Black-owned grocery store in the city of Detroit because I knew where $275,000 was hidden away in the city's budget, and I just tapped into it to help that business owner out. So I'm really about helping those who want to grow and move forward. I I want to alter some of our federal banking regulations. We have a lot of citizens that are paying $900, $1,000, $1,300 for rent. I think those funds could go towards one's mortgage. I believe that access to home ownership is the first step into expanding our middle class. I believe in higher pay for teachers. I'm a graduate of Howard University with a focus in political science, legal communication, and dance. I'm a classically trained ballet dancer. That's what got me to college. So I will always sit in a room and advocate for arts education. And Southgate is one of 20 municipalities in the 13th Congressional District. I am a Republican. I'm a conservative. I'm a moderate Republican. And I'm asking you and your citizens to consider me on the ballot. I look forward to interfacing and interacting with you over the next months to learn more about what you need and how I could be that partner for you, because at the core, I will be an employee and a partner of yours. And if you're a Republican or a Democrat, I'm asking you to circle my name on the ballot. It seems like you haven't got much federal funds from whomever's representing us now. And in this upcoming election, the general election, you do have the right and the ability to split your ticket. You could vote straight Democrat and then vote for me, or you could vote straight Republican, and my name will be etched in. But again, my name is Martell Bivens, son of Wayne County. I'm a son of Detroit, Michigan, Cody High School graduate, looking to work on your behalf in Washington. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to maybe interfacing with you briefly after the close of this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other persons in the audience that would like to address council? Seeing none, we'll move on to claims and accounts. Councilman Roush.
Move to approve warrant 1505 in the amount of $1,613,833.42.
Support.
Motion by Roush, supported by George. Any discussion? Any objection? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Madam Chair,
Councilman George.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by George, supported by Golick. Any discussion or objection or adjourn?